With this rattler project, we'll be using Brazilian cherry and sugar maple. We'll have 26 staves cut at 13.5 degrees, making us 9 degrees short of a full 360s. This will allow us to then construct our blank in a tangential arrangement. The plan behind this construction, once the glue is cured, is we'll have a piece of sugar maple glued onto a waste block and a piece of the Brazilian cherry glued on a waste block, and we'll cap each end of our rattle with them. Once the blank is roughed in, we'll have a dovetail tenon, which we'll use to mount in the jaws, and we can start shaping. After marking center on our blank, we'll use a parting tool to bring the center down to our desired handle size. Both of these woods came from old flooring projects. I'd like to give a shout out and big thank you to Tony, a fellow carpenter who donated the Brazilian cherry to my shop. The sugar maple came from an old flooring project that I did about 15 years ago. I wanted to pay particular attention to the woods I included in this project, as children tend to put stuff in their mouth, especially toddlers. Some good woods to use for toy projects are maple, birch, beech, oak, and cherry. Some woods to stay away from are walnut, cedar, rubberwood, and purple heart. Maple tops the list because not only is it a safe wood, but it actually has medicinal properties to it. U.S. safety regulation states that each end of a rattler can be no smaller than 1 3/4 inches. I left mine plenty big, no choke hazard here. When we're satisfied with the shape of the one end, we'll tidy up the inside of the second, bringing it to proper diameter, and then we'll remove our tailstock and install our steady rest. With our steady rest installed, we'll go ahead and hollow out the inside of this one end. I'm planning on filling the rattler with copper BBs. Copper is a safe metal. I don't want to fill the one end right away, so I am going to core out the handle to allow the BBs to pass from one side of the rattler to the other side of the rattler, and maybe even create a rain stick type sound effect. We'll see at the end. Now that we've got the one end hollowed and the handle cored out, we're going to take this piece off of the headstock, leaving the chuck attached, and we're going to shape our plug. When we get this plug brought to shape, we'll bring up our project mounted on the tailstock, still attached to the chuck. This allows us to align our centers throughout the project. Once we're satisfied with our overall shape of the rattler, we'll move on to hollowing out the second side. Much like the first side, we'll pull away our tailstock and bring up the steady rest. With the second plug brought to shape and ready, we're going to add our BBs and use an epoxy glue this time to speed up the production on this. Once the first waste block is removed and we have it sanded, we'll have to create a jam chuck to remove the second waste block. I also plan on using this jam chuck as a stand for the rattler when it's not in use between generations. I would be honored if this gets used as an heirloom piece. Being that this jam chuck is also going to be later altered as a stand, I want it to have a matching wood. So we are making this out of the sugar maple also. I'm really happy to have made this in my Colorado shop before having to move to New Mexico. I am venturing in a new chapter of my life, and I have plans for one more project in this Colorado shop, and I do not know when I'm going to have the next shop up and running. So please subscribe, and the next project is guaranteed to knock your socks off, and you'll get notified when it gets released. And now for a food safe finish on all this, we can give it a buffing and we'll be able to wrap it up.